Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Galen Snyder Show. I'm Vince Reed. As you know, our show is brought to you in part by ARIA Health, your friends and neighbors here in Bucks County, who are ready to serve you when you are in need of them. And also being brought to you here by the Pennsbury Basketball Recreational League, PRBLonline.com is how to get in touch with them. And also, of course, by the Continental Tavern, their 150th anniversary going on right now. And right there in the heart of Yardley. We'll tell you about all of them coming up in just a bit. Of course, the Penn Salem Ball Club last week was the team that Pennsbury was able to take care of as expected in getting that win. That brings them now to 5-0 and undefeated in the Suburban One League National Conference. This stretch that's coming up now reminds me of last year. These are 4 big ball games all bunched up right in a row at the end of the season. And it starts, of course, with the one tonight, which is on the road at Penn Ridge, which has a new stadium, and good to be going up there and meet the Rams up there for this contest. And the Rams, of course, I think are in a situation where they have just about a must-win for them. It's a big one for both ball clubs, with Pennsbury trying to stay up there as undefeated, and the likes of North Penn, as you know, battling, and we meet them later on. And then you have this team that really is looking to see if they can come through with a big win, because a loss here and really could hurt this Penn Ridge Ball Club in effort to try to win the league title, and also, of course, as to how it goes with the points they get to determine if they'll make the playoffs or not. So a big game for both of these clubs coming up to this contest. But the biggest thing we'll look at is the Pennsbury side right now and see where they, right now, you would say they match up with everybody, especially with this Penn Ridge Ball Club coming up here. And Coach, you're looking at your team this year, looking over the stats for the ball club. You got some real nice stats on offense, the defense playing very well. And here we are, you know, we're heading down the side to where it'll be the key side, and that is the ones down to the wire, these ball games. How do you think your team has progressed? When you look back a little bit to last year, it kind of reminds me a little bit about that team, the way they came on, and you're looking at this team coming on as well.
Yeah, well, we talked about it. We always get stronger as the season goes. Week one's always an adventure for us, especially on the offensive side. But we start getting things cranked up a little bit as we hit week 2 and 3, and that's kind of where we were this year. And this is going to be a good challenge for us. Probably the best competition we faced since Sal, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a good game, and they bring a lot to the table, and so do we.
Well, just a couple of weeks ago, they knocked off Neshaminy, and what was a really big game for both ball clubs. Good close game between those two, a game that could have gone either way. And of course, they also, when you look at it, they were beaten by North Penn ball club. North Penn apparently did a pretty good job on them there when you look at the score of that ball game. So they know what things are happening here. They know where you stand, what you got to do, and who you have to play. And when you look at them, and I see this, a rather diversified ball club. Penn Ridge can throw it this year as well as run the ball.
Yeah, they're primarily a running team, but yeah, their quarterback is back from last year, so he was able to, he is a guy who can run and pass, and they got a couple of receivers who get out there and catch the ball. So they're primarily a run team, but they will, they are effective at times throwing it.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is I think they're throwing a little bit better this year than they have, as their quarterback is Devin Ballmer. He's had 32 for 62 when it comes to passing this year, 531 yards. He's also hit for 5 TDs. But the other side, too, he's been intercepted 3 times along the way.
Yeah, I mean, 3 things can happen when you put the ball up in the air, and 2 of them are bad.
Yeah, and I'm sure when you look at the 3 INTs, you're thinking, boy, that would be nice right there as guys can come through, because your guys have come through and played really well. They picked off some this year. But to give you an idea of how diverse they are, you look at the guys who can catch for this ball club, and they're doing a real good job with that. You got one of them, and that's, of course, Dan Hockman, who will be number 2 out there. He's 10 for 142 yards. And has 1 touchdown so far this year. And they have some others also. The biggest receiver for him is number 8. That's Ryan Cuthbert. And he's had 14 receptions for 281 yards, averaging over 20 yards per reception so far, and 3 touchdowns. And that, you look at that and you say, well, this kid is probably a kid that if they have to, they try to go long a little bit with.
Yeah, he's a threat. He's probably their most skilled guy out there. And So he's a threat we'll have to take care of.
You know, there's a couple other things in there. You look at the running game, and it reminds me a little bit about what you got going right now, only your guys are picking up more yards than what they are. But what they do with their run game is they really do spread it around. About 3 or 4 people who get the chance to tote the football for this ball club. You got Judas Desrosiers, who's 221 yards and 5 TDs. He leads them there, but they don't just count on him. They kind of spread it around like you do.
Yeah, he's a tough kid. He's got a little combination of speed, a little bit of size and power, so he's definitely, he does a nice job for him. They got a big fullback who's been hurt for a couple weeks, but he's also gotten them some pretty good yardage. And then the quarterback, you got to watch the quarterback keeping the ball.
Yeah. And Brian Gordon was the fullback who's done himself a nice job there at that position, trying to keep the defense honest as far as that goes. But, you know, one of the other things that I looked at, and I know this is an area, I think, an area of concern for the Falcons ball club, and that is the kicking game, especially with the PATs. And they got Matthew Maurer. Matthew Maurer, so far this year, the kid's perfect. He's 20 for 20 with point after touchdowns, and he's 3 for 3 in field goals.
20 for 20, so he's picked up 20 extra points.
Yeah.
On the last 2 games, Vince, we have also picked up 20 extra points. We've scored 7 touchdowns the last 2 games. We went for 2 every time. We've gotten 5 out of 7 in both games. So in the last 2 games, we picked up 20 extra points to match his 20 for the season.
That's a good one. That's a good stat to remember. But that's the thing I was thinking about. You know, it's in these crucial ball games, a game like this, a game against a North Penn and a Chamonix, and you know, I've been thinking that, you know, you look at that and you look at that extra point, and I think to myself, well, I think if Pennsbury is going to be able to do it in close ball games, you guys got to make those 2-point conversions. That's the way it looks to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I was watching too, halftime of the Ben Salem game. You had some different kids out there, a couple of kids, you know, looking to kick a little bit for you. I think it's not an easy thing. Remember when you used to have kids come from the soccer game field and kick for you? What happened to those days? You don't have any of those?
Yeah, I don't know. Things have changed. Kids don't want to do as much as they used to want to do. You know, they like to specialize in one sport.
Yeah.
And, I don't know.
You never know. Well, we're going to tell you more about this game. We'll tell you more about the Pennsbury Ball Club leading up to this week as well. I want to tell you about some of our sponsors here today, and one of them, of course, happens to be the Pennsbury Basketball Recreational League. This is the one where you can really teach your kids to be staying right here in the home area, be able to go out, whether kindergarten in the 12th grade, and really learn the game of basketball the right way. And they're also going to have some of the guys who are on the Pennsbury basketball team will be helping out. And there'll be some of the coaches for these youngsters. So bring them out, let them have a good time. The way to get them is prblonline.com, just like that, prblonline.com, and you get in touch with them. Get in touch with them as soon as you can. They do a lot. You'll find out that we have a lot of kids that, when you look at it, the teams around the area, not only from Pennsbury, that they were a part of the PRBL. Some of them sometimes have been as far away there, you know, in this local area, but as playing for teams in Newtown and playing up there for the Council Rocks. But they went through this maybe a few years ago and now get their opportunity. That's one of our sponsors. Along with, of course, we have the Continental Tavern at Main and Afton Streets in Yardley. And right now we're still, you know, in that weather to where you can go out on the porch and enjoy yourself in the early evening here. And still it's not too overly cold to enjoy that. But if you want to go inside, do that too. Great food at the Continental Tavern. One thing you can be sure of too is the fact that they're going to have all the games on Friday night streamed live on their TVs, so you can watch it at the Continental Tavern, all the Pennsbury ball games. And of course also Aria Health, our friends and neighbors here in Bucks County, who are waiting to serve you in your time of need. They're some of our sponsors too. We're going to be back to talk to Galen Snyder a little bit more right after this.
The ARIA 3B Orthopedic Institute is redefining care in Center City and South Jersey. And our 50,000 square foot location on ARIA Health's Bucks campus in Langhorne features private rooms, free parking, and nearby hotels. With over a century of experience, the world-class 3Bs, Doctors Booth, Bartolozzi, Balderston, and their partners personally guide you from treatment through recovery. For all your orthopedic needs, call 1-888-ORTHO-3B or visit aria3bortho.org. At the ARIA 3B Orthopedic Institute, you come first.
If you are looking for a car, where do you go? Faulkner Auto Group at 4427 Street Road in Trevose is where to go for the best deals in Bucks County for all your new pre-owned cars, trucks, or SUVs. Go to Faulkner Auto Group. It's always Faulkner, to be sure. Go online to faulknerautogroup.com. Just remember, it's Faulkner, to be sure, for all your new cars or trucks. 4427 Street Road in Trevose. Faulkner, to be sure.
The Gator, Jerry Blavitt here, to tell you to tune us in every weekday afternoon from 3 to 5 p.m. right here at WBCB 1490 AM and throughout the world at WBCB1490.com. And it's brought to you by the Italian People Bakery and the deli at 63 Butler Street in the Chambersburg section of Trenton, and also in Levittown at Woodburn and Oxford Valley Roads, and where all baking is done on the premises at both stores. Yo, Trenton and Levittown, this is the Geeter, the big boss with the big hot sauce, Jerry Blavitt, inviting you to join me every weekday afternoon from 3 to 5 as we bring back the memories at the top of the dial, 1490 AM, WBCB, and throughout the world at WBCB1490.com. And it's brought to you by Mako at 1460 Prospect Street, right off Alden Avenue in Ewing Township, owned and operated by my main man, Matt Palmer.
Hi, this is Merrill Reese, and since 1986, McCaffrey's Supermarket has been a real supermarket experience and a very proud member of our community. Through good times and bad times, Jim McCaffrey and his family have been there to assist our neighbors when they needed help, whether it's helping flood victims, raising funds for the American Cancer Society, or supporting the local Little League teams. You can count on McCaffrey's to be there. McCaffrey Supermarkets, 635 Heacock Road in Yardley in the village of Newtown, at 2890 South Eagle Road, and also in Princeton and West Windsor.
And we're back once more with the Galen Snyder Show. I'm Vince Reed, and of course we want to talk a little bit about this ball club that they're playing here, the Penn Ridge Rams, on their new field now. They've been there a couple of years now. Nice new complex. And talk about their defense a little bit. And Coach, if you had a chance to see them at all or had them scouted whatsoever, what do you think about, what you found out about their defense and how tough they are and how they play?
Well, I mean, they have a good size on both sides, and it's a lot of the same kids as well. And so they both good size on both sides of the ball. They play physical. It's going to be both teams lining up and trying to basically beat up the other team is essentially what it's going to come down to. And I would say other than Stooks, who is our tackle that no one can match the size of. Other than that, they're probably bigger than us. Across the board. So then it's going to come down to which team's willing to really get in there and mix it up, and how tough the other team is really what's going to come down to.
I know we talked a little bit, and we showed you some of the stats. Of course, we talked about that for this Penn Ridge Ball Club, and I thought it was interesting as I was tallying up the stats as well for Pennsbury this week and throughout the course of the season. And one thing I looked at is, of course, Chuck Snorway last year took the major part of it as far as yards gained and touchdowns scored. But this group is really moving it around a lot better, and especially since Dalton Hose has been back and has been in a lot better shape. He wasn't in the backfield that much the first couple of ball games, but he's right there climbing the ladder along with Chris Ruprecht. And when you look at those two right now, they're only 9 yards apart. Ruprecht has 637 yards and 7 touchdowns, and you've got Dalton Hose. He's got 628 yards and 5 touchdowns as he's come along very well here as of late. And I added up the 4, counting in Mike Alley, who has a total for him of 365 yards and 5 scores. And of course Rob Daly as well, who's done a good job there, as he's had 254 yards and 4 touchdowns. When I added it all up here, I see that your team is closing in on 2,000 yards with those 4 guys rushing. They got 1,884, so you're really dispensing the ball around. You can see it by the stats.
Yeah, we have a number of good backs. We like to get the ball to each of them. They can all do the job. And we've even got a couple guys left in the bullpen that we haven't pulled the trigger on yet. That we'll let go a little bit. Maybe here coming up next few weeks, we'll see. All of our guys, we got a lot of good football players, and when we ask them to call upon them to do something, they've been doing it. And, as long as we can stay healthy, and we'll just keep plugging away.
When I looked at, and also we had Greg Lichtenstein, who was our guest this week from Pennsbury on the Coaches Roundtable show at Sandy's, and was talking to him, and I had mentioned about the fact that you had to be really thrilled with the fact that you've not only been playing defense and playing defense well, but you got a chance to play some offense, and you got a chance in with Pennsbury, which doesn't happen often to many kids. You scored a touchdown. You got a reception for a TD, and he was smiling. He was grinning from ear to ear. And he said, "Yeah, I know. We don't throw that much." He said, "We're throwing more this year." I said, "Yeah, I know. And you're connecting a lot better, and you're getting also some touchdowns out of that." But I wanted to kid him around about the fact that he's one of the rare guys with the team that's been able to score TDs.
That's true. That's true. He's got one. I see. He's got one reception for 3 yards and a TD.
Yeah.
Greg's been doing a great job for us. You know, he goes in at the backside tight end position in addition to playing safety for us.
Right.
He does a real nice job.
Yeah, he's been doing a nice job. And all in all, when you come down to it, your guys have been really doing a good job. One thing I was maybe a little concerned about, and I spoke to you before the season started, because of the guys that you really had last year on the line who were coming back and were seasoned and were really good. And my concern a little bit for this ball club was how the offensive line would react. But I'll tell you what, I was telling some of the guys that, you have here, and we've talked to after ball games about the fact that, they came along really nice and cohesive, and they're really playing extremely well. I didn't know how that would go, because I know it's always a tough thing to have to get that line all settled all over again with some new guys in there. But these guys have filled in really good, and now that, they're the leaders.
They have done a real nice job thus far, and we were out without a couple of them. Actually, Nick Paragon didn't play the last 2 games against Abington and Ben Salem, but he'll be back for this game. And Ryan Harrod didn't play against Ben Salem, but he'll be back. So, those were 2 of our starters that were out.
Yeah.
Jake Harkins did a real nice job stepping in for him. So and Zach Buckstar as well. Excuse me. Friday night versus Ben Salem. But so we're excited to have them all back, and they've been doing a good job thus far. And so this will be a challenge for them going against a bigger defensive front. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And I mentioned too about the fact when I was talking to Greg and we were talking about the end situation, that really when you look at it this year, you've had McFarlane's gone in and give you some time. Rob Daly, we know, can either do it from the backfield or split end position. He can catch some passes for you. And guys that have really done a nice job for you that you put in there at those positions. They've shown, of course, that they can also do it coming out of the backfield. I know Dalton Ho's got good hands. He's able to catch them for you, too. I think that what keeps them alive, because Mike Alley has shown, too, not only is he's a big kid, he's 234, and he's solid. There's no doubt about that. But he has passed 11 for 18 for 278. And 4 touchdowns so far this year. And when I look at him, I think he's gotten better as far as that goes with the passing game. But the thing I like, too, is the fact that he's also a big part now, too, of your running game, which makes you tougher, because he has shown that he can be a tough customer also to bring down as far as that goes when he totes the ball. Now you got another guy that got to worry about a little bit more.
Yeah, Mike's had a real good season for us. He's shown good leadership. He's played a lot of good games for us. You're right, he has shown that he can hurt the opponent both through the air and running the ball.
And I know when it comes down to it, your son Luke has been leading the team last year, this year in tackles, and one of the guys who really is a tough customer on defense. And I've mentioned a lot of times when I see all of a sudden he's there, and I look and I think to myself, geez, how did Luke get there, from position where he was, where the ball is? But I tell you what, he's really got, your son's got a real nose for the football.
Yeah, Luke's done a real nice job, as has our whole entire defense this year. And what I've been pleased with him as well is the job he's done offensively, blocking for us. Going in a wing back and really doing a good job opening up some holes.
Well, we saw that last year when they knew they were going to hit by a ton of bricks when they were leading the way. Then when your son came in the backfield to run those eyes, and he was down there, and you had Snorway, it was like whoever was going to encounter Luke was in for a nice hard hit.
Well, Pembridge has some tough kids playing linebacker. There's going to be some collisions at the game tonight, that's for sure.
All right, we're looking forward to that. We're going to be back with our final comments here on the Galen Snyder Show right after this. I want to tell you first about, of course, Aria Health, one of our sponsors here for you. Whenever you're in need, do take care of the situation by going to Aria Health. They'll be taking care of you. Also, the Pennsbury Basketball Recreational League. Get in touch with them at prbl.com. And, of course, celebrating 150th anniversary is the Continental Tavern. They got the food there for you. They got the ambiance. They got the games on the TV. All of our games live stream, all the Pennsbury games. You'll see it live, and you'll listen to it live right there on the TVs. Enjoy your day and enjoy your night there before or after. Come out, of course, to the Continental Tavern over there in Yardley. We'll be back in final moments in just 1 second.
Peruzzi Nissan is the home of the 3495 Pennsylvania State Inspection and Admission and is your full-service automotive facility for all makes and models, regardless of where you purchased your car. Air conditioner tune-up for just $79.95 at Peruzzi Nissan. Buy 3 tires at Peruzzi Nissan and get the 4th one free, plus free alignment checks. Have your car looking showroom new with a value detail package for just $64.95 and a full detail package for only $179.95. Peruzzi Nissan Service, Business Route 1, Fairless Hills, where our business is you.
Achieving what you want demands the right game plan. When you team up with PNC, you get the tools and know-how you need to get where you want to go. Whether it's buying a new home, sending your kids off to college, or retiring the way you want, PNC is here ready to help you achieve your financial goals. To discover all the ways PNC can help, stop by any branch or visit pnc.com. PNC for the achiever in you. PNC Bank, member FDIC. I'm Merrill Reese to tell you about our good friends at the Revere Ristorante Italiano in nearby Ewing Township at 802 River Road. I can tell you that from South Philadelphia to New York's Mulberry Street, there's no better Italian cuisine than that served at the Revere. Start your meal with one of their great appetizers or salads. Entrees include outstanding veal dishes, fresh seafood daily, excellent steaks and chops, homemade pasta dishes, daily specials, and much more. You can also enjoy their bar area, where on most weekends, entertainment is offered. The Revere also does off-premise catering and can accommodate private parties for any affair, including business functions. Call the Revere Ristorante Italiano for more information and reservations at 609-882-6365. 882-6365. The Revere Ristorante Italiano open Monday through Friday for lunch and 7 days for dinner at 802 River Road, right off the Wilbertha Road exit on Route 29 in nearby Ewing Township.
Oh, the corner kick's right to Chris. He's got a shot. Oh, no.
It happens fast, so we'll treat you fast. Introducing Rothman Orthopedic Urgent Care, where you're seen without an appointment by a Rothman orthopedic specialist. Fast, any day of the week.
Okay. Easy with his leg.
Rothman Orthopedic Urgent Care, now in Marlton, New Jersey, with more locations to come. It happens fast, we'll treat you fast. Rothman Orthopedic Urgent Care. See RothmanInstitute.com.
Don't forget, if you miss any of your local high school sports action, you can read all about it in tomorrow's edition of the Trentonian. For your complete local and national news 7 days a week, it's the Trentonian, or online at thetrentonian.com. The only newspaper serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer County 7 days a week, it's the Trentonian.
And we're back once again with the Galen Snyder Show. As we said, that we're hitting the downward part of the season, and also very big ball games. Of course, they've all been big as far as that goes, but these are big just like last year. We came down to the final few ball games last year. There were one back-to-back, more exciting than the other, and then the playoffs, of course, were extremely exciting too. So we'll be looking forward to that situation, hopefully, as well. But this is one you got to take them, as they say, one at a time. And we know it's not going to be an easy one. The trip up there to Percy right now is going to be the longest trip that Pennsbury's going to make all season long. And you look at that, they got a tough ball club. There's no doubt about it. And they know what this game means to them. This game could maybe really hurt them badly if they lose this one, so you know they're going to be up for it. So we're looking for a dandy ball game out of these two ball clubs. And I think really you're going to see a really top-notch football game this week, as you've seen for many weeks. But now we start the real grind right down with, I think, some of the best that they're going to be facing all year long in the regular season, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely. This is, Pembridge is 4-2, Chamonix 4-2. North Penn's 4-2. We're playing a really tough schedule. I'm not sure what Rock South. CB South. I think maybe whatever they're 3-3. Yeah. So they're for the bigger opponents that we'll face, and So it's makes quite an interesting stretch run here.
And it certainly does, just as last year as it turned out. And they're getting really exciting now because everyone is so meaningful. And you know the situation. There's going to be a lot of them now from now on to the end of the year. They're going to be very close, and this should be one of those as well. Looking forward to that kickoff coming up from Percy, and that'll be the Rams of Penn Ridge entertaining the Falcons of Pennsbury. We'll have that for you in just a moment.